Hi, my name is Tropic. We've been at it for quite a while, and after all the support on my first video, I figured it was time for some more. I've almost only been playing swords this entire time, and this has left me with some newly discovered mechanics and a lot of testing as well. I feel like I've grown enough as a player to share some tips with you guys. I've also been playing with some of the best players on the EU server, and this has taught me a lot, which I'm looking forward to teach you. Today's topic will be advanced mechanics in the ODM class, better known as swords. The ODM class strives on speed, endurance, and good stretch management. We need to be able to catch our prey, outduel other players, and block incoming attacks. As for blocking, the ODM class is the only class who is able to block in the game, and there's quite a few stuff we can block. First up is clashing. Clashing is referred as to when two players attack each other at the same time, and the attack gets blocked. This is the most common block you will see, but there are some interactions to clashing. Sometimes you will either kill the person you thought you'd clash with, or he will kill you. And this is because you need to look at the other player to clash. If you miss the enemy player with your crosshair, you will miss the block and die. And the same goes for your opponent. Second is ready blocking. Ready blocking is the most useful block you can perform. This is when you decide what you want to block. Ready blocking can be done if you ready your swords at the exact same time a person attacks you or shoots at you. This is super effective when you either miss an attack, fight an APG user, or find yourself grounded in any kind of way, that being out of gas or with stressed gear. So in short, the ODM can block enemy attacks, whether that be swords or APG shots, as well as throwing swords. For you to become a good ODM player, this has to become as normal for you as attacking is. I sat down for 2 hours with one of the best APG users in EU and trained blocking APG shots, so much that it has become second nature to me when I am dueling APG players, and it has helped out in a lot of situations. Now that we learned how to properly block, we can focus on attacking. There are so many ways to attack and engage an attack. I will do my best to cover all of them. First off is the normal attack. This is the most simple attack you can do, yet it can be very useful if people comes at you fast or you are very close to the enemy you want to attack. The speed of a normal attack can be just as fast as every other way to attack, but if you start from a standstill, whether you're on the ground or in the air, it will be the slowest way to attack, only going from 16 meters per second to around 20 meters per second. Next comes extending and far extending. Extending is the most common way to attack, mixing speed and distance. You rapidly dash forwards and attack at the same time. This technique is called extending due to the player being able to extend their attack animation with the use of a dash. Far extending is the exact same thing, but when performing a far extend, you hold the burst and then attack at the end of the burst. These techniques are very useful if the enemy is a bit further away than the range of a normal attack, or if you want to come up on your enemy with speed. At last we have super extending. This technique has incredibly specific scenarios to be used in, but it will make sure to close the gap on any enemy if done correctly. If you watch my mobility guide video, I mentioned that there is a short cooldown for dashing the same direction twice, which totally eliminates the possibility to dash twice before attacking, unless you do a super extend. To perform a super extend, you will have to dash forward, turn around, dash backward, and then turn around again to do an extended attack. This is the most stressing technique you can perform as an ODM user, and it also makes you very vulnerable to attacks since you turn your back to the enemy. But if you pull it off, the speed and the distance traveled will make you an unforeseeable force, striking down players in an instant. It is possible to perform a shorter super extend to train on before jumping into doing this high level technique. It's basically half a super extend, where you start dashing backwards and then does an extended attack. Now we know how to attack, but to fully understand how to implement it into your playstyle, try it out in practice mode, or jump into an online lobby and start working on it. As soon as you get the attacks down, it's time to add dashing, and this is where you start to unlock the full potential of the ODM. There are never two identical battles, which means I can't tell you how to use your dashes properly. This is a gut feeling, and you need to watch your surroundings and figure out yourself what would be the best move to do. I can, however, tell you about some common dashes which aren't easy to implement, but it will be the start for you to dash around the battlefield. If you're just getting into dashing during combat, start with single dashes and then build onto that as soon as you get more confident in dashing. The most common dash is a fake. Doing a fake is basically dashing backwards and then follow up with either a normal or a version of the extended attacks. You should look to extend your fake the closer the enemy are to you. Next is side dashing. I use this to turn corners really quickly, to dodge or to reposition for a better angle to attack. Up dashing stops you and sends you upward. I personally use this to make stops mid-air or to dodge incoming attacks from behind if I'm being chased. Down dashing is a dash people rarely use, but it is super good to use if you want to get to the ground really fast or dodge an incoming attack and afterwards retaliate with a counter attack. Another advanced dash you can perform is ground dashing. If you jump while you are grounded, the game counts your jump as a burst starter. This means you can actually dash over the ground by pressing E once and then rapidly press one of the WASD keys to start dashing or bursting instantly just above the ground. As a final note, I would recommend making it easier for yourself and minimize the chances for you to miss a dash or a burst. Open the menu and go into settings. Under user/camera, drag the slider called burst sensitivity to either low or very low. What this does is that it gives you more time to double tap your keys to do bursts or dashes and minimizes the chances of you to miss one. And with that, this concludes my advanced ODM guide. As last time, I still think you should figure out your own style and learn at your own pace. Remember that this video is only my take on how the ODM class should be played, and who knows, maybe I'm totally wrong. I just know that what I've done so far has always given me an advantage in almost every duel and has enabled me to take out some of the best players around. With all that said, thanks for watching and I hope this was useful to you.